Last week, one of the comments asked us if we've ever dealt with naysayers and how we deal with that. And so we're going to share a couple of stories and nuggets. We've, of course, dealt with naysayers, and we have some good tips and tricks for that. Annie, do you want to kick it off?
Yes. So the short answer to whether we experience naysayers is absolutely yes. I think that anyone who's trying to be a trailblazer and build something that's totally new definitely feels their fair share of reluctance. And I want to bring you back to February 6th, 2017, when we were just on the verge of launching our new product and the New York Times article was going to come out. And once, it was 5 o'clock in the morning and I was refreshing my phone, like, is it up yet? Is it up yet? And when it got up, I was like, what have we done? This is on the front page of the New York Times homepage. It's the entire page at A3 in the newspaper. We're just two girls with a dream who had a belief in something that would work for us because we knew that flexibility was the key to us being successful. And all of a sudden, we have totally exposed ourselves to the attention and criticism of the entire United States of America at a very polarized time for
And then the comments start rolling in, right? And it's terrifying.
Exactly. And so I don't think I quite realized how controversial flexibility is. I think we get naysayers and backlash from every element of the spectrum. We get it from the far left. We get it from the far right. Some people don't believe that women should even be pursuing careers. Some people say that we are really only helping a very discrete group of white wealthy women, and that's really a disappointing feedback to receive because it's not something that we relate to and really work hard to be more inclusive than that. So I think it's terrifying.
It is.
And you just have to stay really, really positive through it and know that in your heart you're solving something that is so important to you and so important to so many people on the basis of the data that you just keep trudging forward.
And it's interesting because we also, of course, deal with naysayers in terms of investors all the time. I mean, a good hit rate when you're looking for investment is getting 1 in 10. And we've done better than that, but we definitely get plenty of naysayers. A lot of people question whether, we can break through the clutter, whether we can build a massive scalable business and truly get adoption. And in terms of strategies, I always, first of all, we have to believe in what we believe in. We know that we know this market and what we're building better than anyone else. And we're coming from personal experience, knowing what works and what doesn't. The second thing is I always go back to the data, and when we get naysayers, it's interesting. Sometimes people just don't know the actual situation, and we tell them, did you know 80% of companies already have flexibility policies today? Right. And it's always important to ground yourself in the facts. But the reality is, even with any naysayer, you can't get everybody over the hurdle. And we've become really good at filtering feedback.
Totally.
We are true to what we're building, and we take the good. We reflect on the feedback, and then we ignore things that really have nothing to do with our business. But there's always a good nugget of helpfulness, but you have to be a good editor and filter things.
I think that's the one thing that we've always done really well, even when we take negative criticism. If we ever see 2 or 3 points of the same type of negative criticism, Anna and I are really good at sitting with each other across the table and saying, what are we doing wrong? Are we doing something wrong? Or is it something we should ignore? And
exactly.
Whatever the situation may be, I think that we take the most productive piece of consistent negative criticism and really build it into our business and try to solve for it. But if it's not helpful, then we say bye-bye.
That's right. So in short, we of course always deal with naysayers. What we always do is stay true and believe in what we set out to achieve and why we're building this. We're really good at filtering. We take the good advice, we ignore the rest, and we keep moving along. And the most important thing is we always come down to why we launched this in the first place and the confidence that we have that we're really onto something amazing. Thanks all for joining us. See you next week.
Thank you.